Clara Bow. Clara Bow, the original it girl of the silent film era, was a symbol of glamour and rebellion in the early 20th century. But behind the dazzling smile and carefree persona, her life was a battlefield of public scrutiny and personal turmoil. Clara's rise to fame coincided with the advent of fan culture, and while she was adored by millions, her relationship with her admirers was far from harmonious. In the late 1920s, Clara faced a bizarre legal battle when a former assistant accused her of immoral behavior, a claim that was amplified by the tabloids and fueled by jealous fans. The assistant's allegations were later proven false, but the damage to Clara's reputation was done. What's even more unsettling is how some fans turned on her during this time. Letters flooded her studio, some filled with admiration, others laced with venomous threats. One particularly unsettling incident involved a fan who claimed to have been watching her for weeks, leaving mysterious notes at her residence. Clara's mental health began to deteriorate under the weight of these pressures, and by the early 1930s she retreated from Hollywood entirely. Marlon Brando. Marlon Brando, the enigmatic icon of method acting, was as well known for his off-screen behavior as he was for his on-screen brilliance. While his clashes with directors and co-stars are well documented, his feuds with fans reveal a darker side of his relationship with fame. In the 1950s, at the height of his career, Brando was known for his disdain for the public's obsession with his personal life. He once described fans as vultures, a sentiment that became evident in his interactions with them. One of the most startling incidents occurred when a fan broke into his home, claiming to be his soulmate. Instead of calling the authorities, Brando confronted the intruder himself, reportedly engaging in a tense conversation that ended with the fan being escorted out. Another time, he received a package containing a lock of hair and a note that read, "You'll never escape me." Brando's response? He burned the letter and refused to speak about it publicly. His relationship with fame was a constant tug of war, and his refusal to conform to Hollywood's expectations only fueled the public's fascination with him. Mae West. Mae West, the queen of double entendres and unapologetic confidence, was a trailblazer in an era that demanded conformity. Her bold persona made her a magnet for controversy, and her interactions with fans were no exception. In the 1930s, Mae was sued by a fan who claimed that her risque performances had corrupted his morals. The case was dismissed, but it highlighted the growing tension between Mae's provocative image and the conservative values of the time. Even more unsettling were the letters she received from fans, some of which contained veiled threats. One admirer sent her a series of notes insisting that she leave her career and marry him, hinting at repercussions if she declined. Mae, ever the defiant star, reportedly laughed off the threats and continued to push boundaries in her work, but the constant scrutiny and occasional hostility from fans took a toll. By the time she transitioned to radio and later television, Mae had become more guarded, a stark contrast to the fearless persona she projected on screen. Her story is a testament to the resilience required to navigate the treacherous waters of fame during Hollywood's golden age. Joan Crawford. Joan Crawford, one of the most enduring stars of Hollywood's golden age, was no stranger to controversy. Her rise from humble beginnings to superstardom was marked by an unrelenting drive to succeed, but her relationship with fans was often fraught with tension. In the 1940s, Joan became embroiled in a bizarre legal battle when a fan accused her of breaking a promise to meet them. The fan claimed to have spent their life savings traveling to Hollywood, only to be ignored by the actress. The case was dismissed, but it highlighted the intense expectations placed on stars during this era. Even more unsettling were the lengths some fans went to in order to get her attention. One admirer reportedly sent her dozens of letters over the course of a year, each one more desperate than the last. The final letter contained an ominous message that left Joan feeling uneasy. While she never spoke publicly about the incident, those close to her noted that she became increasingly wary of her interactions with fans. Joan's carefully crafted image of perfection often masked the darker realities of her life, including the pressures of maintaining her status as a beloved star. Her story reveals the fine line between adoration and obsession that so many Golden Age actors had to navigate. Errol Flynn. Errol Flynn, the swashbuckling star of Hollywood's golden age, was as famous for his daring on-screen roles as he was for his tumultuous personal life. Known for his charm and devil-may-care attitude, Flynn's relationship with his fans was anything but smooth. In the late 1930s, at the height of his fame, Flynn faced a series of legal battles that tarnished his reputation. While much of the public remained captivated by his charisma, some fans turned against him, sending him letters filled with accusations and moral outrage. One particularly unsettling incident involved a fan who claimed Flynn had personally wronged them, demanding compensation and threatening to expose him to the press. Flynn, known for his quick wit, dismissed the claims publicly, but privately he was deeply affected by the growing hostility. Another bizarre episode occurred when a fan attempted to gain access to his home, claiming they were entitled to meet him because of their devotion to his films. Flynn's life was a whirlwind of fame, scandal, and public scrutiny, and his interactions with fans often reflected the darker side of celebrity culture. Despite his larger-than-life persona, Flynn's story reveals the fragility of stardom and the unpredictable nature of fan obsession. Jean Harlow. Jean Harlow, the original blonde bombshell, was a symbol of glamour and sensuality during the early 20th century. Her meteoric rise to fame made her a household name, but it also brought her into conflict with fans who felt an unusual sense of entitlement to her life. In the early 1930s, Jean received a series of letters from an admirer who claimed to know her personally, despite having never met her. The letters became increasingly erratic, with the fan insisting that John owed them a meeting. The situation escalated when the fan appeared at a public event, shouting accusations that Jean had ignored their correspondence. Security intervened, but the incident left Jean shaken. Another troubling episode involved a fan who sent her a package containing a piece of jewelry and a note demanding she wear it in her next film as a sign of acknowledgement. Jean, ever the professional, chose not to respond, but the constant attention from overzealous admirers took a toll on her. Her untimely death in the late 1930s only deepened the public's fascination with her, cementing her legacy as one of Hollywood's most enduring icons. Jean's story is a poignant reminder of the pressures faced by stars who lived under the unrelenting gaze of their fans. Tallulah Bankhead. Tallulah Bankhead, the outspoken and unconventional star of stage and screen, was a force to be reckoned with during Hollywood's golden age. Known for her sharp wit and unapologetic lifestyle, Tallulah often found herself at odds with societal norms, and occasionally with her fans. In the early 1940s, she became embroiled in a legal dispute with a fan who claimed she had insulted them during a public appearance. The fan alleged that Tallulah's remarks had caused them personal upset, a claim that was ultimately dismissed in court. Another peculiar incident involved a fan who sent her a series of letters demanding that she change her behavior to better align with their moral expectations. The letters, filled with unsolicited advice and ominous undertones, were ignored by Tallulah, who famously declared that she would never apologize for being herself. Despite her defiance, the constant scrutiny from fans and the public weighed heavily on her. Tallulah's life was a balancing act between her larger-than-life persona and the expectations placed upon her by an adoring yet judgmental audience. Bette Davis. Bette Davis, the queen of intensity and one of Hollywood's most celebrated actresses, was as fiery off-screen as she was on it. Known for her sharp tongue and unrelenting ambition, Bette's relationship with her fans was often as dramatic as her performances. In the late 1930s, during her rise to superstardom, she found herself in a peculiar legal battle with a fan who claimed she had stolen their idea for a film. The fan alleged that they had sent Bette a letter outlining a story concept, only to see a similar plot appear in one of her movies. The case was dismissed, but it highlighted the strange entitlement some fans felt toward their idols. Another unsettling incident occurred when a fan sent her a series of letters criticizing her for playing morally ambiguous characters, accusing her of corrupting audiences. The letters escalated in tone, with the fan demanding that Bette publicly apologize for her roles. True to her defiant nature, Bette ignored the demands and continued to take on challenging, complex roles that cemented her legacy. Her life was a constant battle between her desire to push boundaries and the expectations of a public that often struggled to separate the actress from her characters. Bette's story is a testament to the resilience required to thrive in an industry that demanded perfection while offering little protection from the darker side of fame. Marlene Dietrich. The glamorous and daring star of Hollywood's golden age, was a woman who thrived on breaking conventions. Her bold fashion choices and unapologetic confidence made her a trailblazer, but they also attracted criticism and obsession from fans who struggled to accept her defiance of traditional norms. In the late 1930s, Dietrich received a series of letters from a fan who accused her of promoting what they called unacceptable behavior through her roles and public image. The fan demanded that she change her appearance and adopt a more conservative style, hinting at repercussions if she did not comply. Dietrich, known for her wit and fearlessness, dismissed the letters, but the incident revealed the intense scrutiny she faced as a public figure. Another troubling episode occurred when a fan attempted to confront her at a public event, accusing her of being a negative influence on society. Security intervened, but the encounter left Dietrich visibly unsettled. Despite these challenges, she continued to push boundaries in her work and personal life, refusing to conform to societal expectations. Marlene's story is a powerful example of the courage it took to remain authentic in an era that demanded conformity, and the toll that fame could take on even the most resilient stars. Barbara Stanwyck. Barbara Stanwyck, the epitome of strength and versatility in Hollywood's golden age, was a star who commanded respect both on and off the screen. Known for her no-nonsense attitude and ability to portray complex characters, Barbara's relationship with her fans was not without its challenges. In the early 1940s, she became the target of a fan who claimed to have uncovered secrets about her personal life. The fan sent her a series of letters claiming to have sensitive information and demanding a meeting with her. Rather than giving in, Barbara took the matter to her legal team, who swiftly handled the situation. Another unsettling incident occurred when a fan attempted to confront her at a public event, accusing her of being ungrateful to her audience. The individual claimed that Barbara's refusal to respond to fan mail was a personal insult. Barbara, known for her sharp wit, reportedly dismissed the accusation with a cutting remark, but the encounter left her shaken. Despite these challenges, she remained one of Hollywood's most beloved stars, admired for her resilience and professionalism. Barbara's story highlights the fine line between admiration and entitlement, a line that many fans of the era seemed all too willing to cross. Humphrey Bogart. Humphrey Bogart, the rugged and iconic star of films like Casablanca and The Maltese Falcon, was a man who exuded cool confidence on screen. Off-screen, however, his interactions with fans were often far more complicated. In the late 1940s, Bogart found himself embroiled in a bizarre legal dispute with a fan who claimed that the actor had promised them a role in one of his films. The fan alleged that they had spent their savings traveling to Hollywood, only to be ignored by Bogart. The case was dismissed, but it revealed the extreme lengths some admirers would go to in their quest for recognition. Another peculiar episode involved a fan who sent Bogart a series of letters criticizing his portrayal of morally ambiguous characters. The fan accused him of glorifying bad behavior and demanded that he take on more heroic roles. Bogart, known for his sharp sense of humor, reportedly joked about the letters with friends but took steps to ensure his privacy was protected. Despite his tough guy image, Bogart was deeply private and often struggled with the pressures of fame. His story is a reminder of the challenges faced by stars who became symbols of an era, often at the expense of their personal peace. James Cagney. James Cagney, the dynamic actor who became synonymous with the gangster genre, was a man who brought intensity to every role he played. His on-screen toughness often led fans to conflate his characters with his real-life persona, resulting in some unsettling encounters. In the early 1930s, at the height of his fame, Cagney received a series of letters from a fan who claimed to be influenced by his gangster roles. The fan wrote that they admired his characters and wanted to act in a similar way, believing the actor would support them. Cagney, alarmed by the letters, reported the matter to the authorities, who intervened before the situation escalated further. Another troubling incident occurred when a fan confronted Cagney at a public event, accusing him of glamorizing crime. The individual demanded that Cagney publicly denounce his roles in gangster films, claiming that they were a negative influence on society. Cagney, ever the professional, handled the situation calmly, but later expressed frustration over the public's inability to separate fiction from reality. Despite these challenges, he continued to deliver powerful performances that defined an era of Hollywood filmmaking. Cagney's story underscores the unintended consequences of stardom, where admiration can sometimes take a darker turn. Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin, the silent film legend whose iconic tramp character captivated audiences worldwide, was no stranger to controversy. While his professional life was marked by groundbreaking achievements, his interactions with fans occasionally veered into unsettling territory. In the late 1920s, Chaplin faced a bizarre legal claim from a fan who alleged that he had stolen their life story for one of his films. The fan insisted that Chaplin had overheard their personal anecdotes during a chance meeting and used them as inspiration for his work. Although the case was dismissed due to lack of evidence, it highlighted the peculiar ways in which fame could blur the lines between admiration and delusion. Another incident occurred in the early 1940s when a fan began sending Chaplin a series of letters accusing him of promoting immoral behavior through his films. The letters became increasingly aggressive, with the fan demanding that Chaplin abandon his comedic style and focus on more serious and moral storytelling. Chaplin, known for his sharp intellect and wit, reportedly found the letters amusing but took precautions to ensure his safety. Despite his public persona as a comedic genius, Chaplin was deeply private and often wary of the intense scrutiny that came with his fame. His story serves as a reminder of the challenges faced by even the most beloved stars, as adoration from fans could sometimes take unsettling forms. Hedy Lamarr. Hedy Lamarr, the stunning actress often referred to as the most beautiful woman in the world, was far more than just a Hollywood starlet. While her groundbreaking contributions to technology are now celebrated, her fame during the golden age of Hollywood brought her into conflict with fans who struggled to see beyond her glamorous image. In the early 1940s, Lamarr was sued by a fan who claimed that she had promised to marry them after a brief meeting at a public event. The fan alleged that Lamarr had led them on, causing emotional distress. The case was dismissed, but it revealed the strange entitlement some admirers felt toward their idols. Another lesser-known episode involved a fan who sent Lamarr a series of letters criticizing her for her roles in romantic films, accusing her of perpetuating unrealistic ideals of love. The fan demanded that she take on more serious roles to reflect the struggles of ordinary people. Lamarr, who was known for her intelligence and independence, reportedly ignored the letters, but later expressed frustration over being typecast in Hollywood. Her story is a fascinating example of how public perception often clashed with the reality of her life, as fans projected their own expectations onto a woman who was far more complex than her on-screen persona suggested. Gene Tierney. Gene Tierney, the luminous star of films like Laura and Leave Her to Heaven, was a woman whose beauty and talent made her one of the most sought-after actresses of her time. However, her interactions with fans were not always as glamorous as her career. In the mid-1940s, Tierney experienced a troubling encounter when a fan claimed to have inspired one of her most famous roles. The fan demanded public acknowledgement and financial compensation, alleging that their life story had been used without credit. Tierney, known for her grace and poise, handled the situation discreetly, but the incident left her shaken. Another troubling episode occurred when a fan confronted Tierney at a public event, accusing her of ignoring fan mail and taking it as a personal slight. The individual demanded an apology for what they perceived as ungrateful behavior. Tierney, who was known to be shy and reserved, reportedly avoided escalating the situation but later confided in friends about the pressures of fame. Her story is a poignant reminder of the emotional toll that stardom could take, as fans often blurred the line between admiration and entitlement. Despite these challenges, Tierney remained a beloved figure, admired for her elegance and resilience in the face of personal and professional struggles.